Here.
Rogers?
Here.
Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Approval of the minutes. You all received transmission of the last council meeting's minutes on March 5th, right? Any additions or corrections? Seeing none, they will stand approved as mailed. Current financial report. You've received copies or transmission of the current financial report. Motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion from Mr. Godwin to accept or approve the current financial report from the auditor's office. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Approval of the agenda. I have nothing to add or take away from the agenda this evening, so.
Move to approve the agenda as it is presented?
Motion from Mr. Schmidt to approve the agenda as presented. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay, public hearing. We have nothing scheduled for this evening. Anyone wishing to address council may do so. Please come to the microphone, state your name and address and your case, or whatever questions or whatever you may have. Pause of silence. Okay, we will move the agenda. Moving on, administrative reports, Mr. Mayor.
I got a couple of small things to bring up.
Pull your microphone down if you're closer so that people can hear.
Hello. I got a few things to bring up. Tomorrow's first day of spring. Pretty cool. Nice sunny day today. But anyway, if everybody look, I put this picture up. I thought it was such a cool event, and I had a great time helping out with it. This is a band shell. If you can see it, I don't know. So I kind of brought it up here and put it up here, and I want to make sure you saw it. And really kind of pretty much ask, is that okay? Your council chamber, and make sure it's something that you like to see hanging up there. Kind of thought about getting a little plaque made up of all the people that were involved. If you can't see it very well, make sure you stop and take a look at it. I think it's a really great picture. It's just beautiful in our park. And the dedication is July 1st of this last year. So it was just a really cool event, and thought maybe something we can add to the rest of the things in the room here, of events and places and people. So Dick Brown had taken the picture. I had it enlarged. So take a look at it. So couple of things. Just one thing coming up for next week. There'll be a few of us heading over to Choice One Engineering Group does some work for us, and a couple of years ago they invited us to come over to participate in a charity event that they have. The money goes to Down syndrome, and I don't know, it's fortunate or unfortunate, we won last year, so we need to go back and defend our title. And they have kind of a funny little games that they do. What did they fly airplanes last year or something like that, and they were just everywhere. How we did that, I don't know. It was just kind of a fluke. but we raised money. If anybody wants to contribute a little bit, that'd be great. We have, in fact, there's a great big cup that sits on the mayor's secretary's little counter there, and Nancy's desk there. And people put money in it. It's a big cup. So if anybody stops in or something, throw your change in there if you want to. But anyway, other than that, this coming Friday is Chamber of Commerce Ag Day. It's a luncheon. I think everybody got copied on that. If maybe you didn't, for sure.
I didn't.
But it was, I think if you really wanted to go this Friday at lunchtime, they have a great speaker coming in, Dr. Sheldon, that does. Talks about futures and things going on with agriculture and a little bit of affect the area. So it's an interesting little program probably. If you get if you know something early in the morning, it's kind of late notice for you, but I thought maybe you might have gotten it from Nancy or not, but I guess not. I talked to President Burkett. I think he did get it, but so let her know early in the morning. I think it was due maybe today for RSVP, but they'll get it in tomorrow morning if you want to go. So let us know. Other than that, that's all I got, so I'll pass.
Okay, thank you, sir. Safety Service Director, Mr. Garrison.
Thank you, Mr. Council President. Just a few items to update you on. Starting yesterday, Scott Drew, former police officer, is our new street sweeper driver. So you should see the street sweeper out more. Saw him out today doing Broadway, doing a fantastic job, and it's good to get the street sweeper back out and get the community cleaned up after a lot of snow and various debris and all that good stuff. Other thing, let you know, Cooley Construction was the low bid for Memorial Drive water line installation project. They came in about $17,000 under the proposed engineer's estimate. We will present legislation at the next council meeting to hopefully get that contract awarded and move forward with that project. Talking about the North Broadway project, I'm sure you have all seen the orange signs go up at both ends of North Broadway, or at least at North Main Street and then at Russ Road, stating that that section of road will be closed for 160 days. Have received numerous phone calls once the signs went up, but that closure starts on the 25th. The road is open to all of the various businesses through there, whether it's in the middle of the project or at either end. The businesses are or will be accessible. We've talked to the bus barn, and we've rerouted bus traffic during the road closure. We'll have at least two crews at any given time on the job. One crew will be doing the water lines starting on the north end, and that is a subcontractor, Broomball Construction, and then Broomball will be starting up this way, maintaining traffic outside of our offices on Broadway and starting the curb portion of the project. And then later next week, we have a pre-construction meeting with ODOT as the sidewalks will be closely following the curb construction. So we have a lot going on this summer. In conjunction with that, what I can report at this time is that we're in the planning process of a lot of projects. We have our department heads will be turning their CIP submissions in later this week. We'll be getting together next week to review those and potentially have some preliminary thoughts on maintenance projects or maintenance paving projects and various equipment purchases by that first meeting in April. So if there are no other questions, I will pass.
Any questions for a safety service? Okay, thank you, sir. Law Director, Mr. Brand,
I will pass.
and Auditor, Mrs. Wellman.
I shall pass as well.
Rolling right along. Moving down to committee reports, we have 3 to consider tonight. Actually, the first one of the Finance Committee was review of the community fund request. There are 2 reports submitted, a majority report and a minority report. And both reports will be read in their entirety, and then it will be up to council to choose whichever one, or a council member to choose whichever one they would like to consider. So read them both, please, in full.
Minority Report, March 14th, 2019. Honorable members, I am submitting a minority report for the Finance Committee assignment to review the request for distribution of community funds. There was a prior Finance Committee report that was in agreement by all members and was pulled from the agenda for some reason. I do not support the current Finance Committee report and would like to suggest the figures listed below. I would like to make the following recommendation of monies from the Community Fund line for 2019 appropriations. Dark County Visitors Bureau, $25,000. Main Street Greenville, $25,000. Dark County Horseshoe Ohio State Tournament, $1,750. Dark County Horseshoe Ringer Classic, $1,750. Community Events Appropriation, $12,000. Gathering at Garst, $500. Annie Oakley, $1,500. Baseball League, $2,000. Softball League, $2,000. YOLO of Dark County Incorporated, 0. Fireworks, $11,261. Union Cemetery, $5,000, for a total of $87,761. Respectfully submitted, Finance Committee Member Jeff Whitaker. Excuse my voice tonight. A Finance Committee report dated March 14th, 2019. Honorable members, we hereby submit our report. The Finance Committee met on February 26, 2019 and March 14th, 2019 to review the request for distribution of community funds. The committee makes the following recommendation of monies from the community fund line for 2019 appropriations. Dark County Visitors Bureau, $20,000. Main Street Greenville, $20,000. Dark County Horseshoe Ohio State Tournament, $1,750. Dark County Horseshoe Ringer Classic, $1,750. Community Events Appropriation, $12,000. Gathering at Garst, $500. Annie Oakley, $1,500. Baseball League, $2,000. Softball League, $2,000. YOLO of Dark County Incorporated, $10,000. Fireworks, $11,261. And Union Cemetery, $5,000, for a total of $87,761. The Finance Committee also recommends that the legislation to distribute the community funds as presented above be prepared. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Finance, Chairman John Hensley and Vice Chairman Doug Schmidt.
First reading of the two reports.
Make a motion to accept the majority report.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to accept the majority report. Discussion.
Can you tell us a little bit more about, I'm sorry, I just want
Pardon?
to ask, can you tell us a little bit more about why there is such a change in the reports? Originally, there was more money for different organizations and less money. Report.
That report was not submitted.
I'm sorry.
I said that report was not submitted for consideration. The very first one, it was withdrawn.
Okay,
So these are the two now.
okay.
Yeah.
But why is there, I don't understand why, I do kind of understand, but why is there a difference between them so much? I mean, it's a big difference on those couple of those organizations. 5,000.
I mean, we were all at the meeting. I mean, there wasn't any,
The only difference is the YOLO.
Well, in the Visitors Bureau and the Main Street.
it's just the decision that was reached. That was the feeling. I mean, I thought that was the assignment. And we were all there. You were there. Jeff was there. John was there.
Well, I realize that, but
The only difference between the two reports, the minority report and the majority report, is $10,000 for YOLO and a difference in what is given to the Visitors Bureau and Main Street Greenville.
well, there's such a big discrepancy between the two. I just thought maybe share a little bit of information on why that would be. I mean, you don't want to talk about the last one, I guess, but then there wasn't much discussion at that meeting because people in the public really weren't allowed to say anything.
Every group that was in the meeting, the first one we had was given ample opportunity to speak. So we just were unable to come to a majority agreement. So that was a decision Jeff decided to make his report, John and me. I mean, we were unable to come to a unanimous decision, basically.
The Finance Committee meeting on the 26th, we had come up with 27.5 for both the Dark County Visitors Bureau and the Main Street Greenville. And we had left YOLO out with the kind of a discussion later on that we would help YOLO out in other ways, possibly considering some low-interest loans and not just giving them money to pay off their bills. And it was my thought that that was probably some good sound thinking. There was also a question whether or not Union Cemetery had received their funds, their $5,000. And it was determined at the last Finance Committee meeting that they had received their 2018 money, paid late, and that the 2019 $5,000 needed to remain in there. And that's in my minority report as well to indicate that. However, and I was out of town last council meeting, and I, apologize for missing the meeting. My grandchildren liked me being there, but so the report that came out of the 26th meeting showed 27.5, 27.5, and that's what we were supposed to report to council. For some, and I wasn't there, so I don't know why it got withdrawn. Okay. However, that was the report that I left town with, and it got agreed to 3-0, by the way. Nobody had any guns to anybody's head. And that was the report that we had submitted, had come out of our committee meeting to be submitted to the meeting. Obviously, it wasn't. So when we got called to another meeting, we went over all these funds again. The Union Cemetery, the question was answered, again, that it needed to be in there for 2019 as well, according to our numbers. Right. But it was my opinion that Dark County Visitors Bureau and Main Street Greenville do a lot in regard to community development. And they also do a lot in providing community events for people throughout the year through those two organizations. And I guess, I feel honored and privileged to represent council on both of those boards, and I guess I get a better look at what they do. And in fact, I've suggested to both of the directors to submit their director's report that they give at their board meetings to pass it along, forward it to all the council members as well, so they can have a better look. But it's my opinion that we shouldn't be cutting them that much. I did cut them $2,500 apiece from the 26th meeting to $25,000. And I think it's very well warranted that they get that money and that we can help YOLO out. I'm not saying leave YOLO out in the dark. We've got a project down there that's going to benefit the community many times over. And it's going to be a nice looking park when it's done. It's a very worthwhile project. But to have it come under the community funds, I'm not so sure. So that was my minority report, and I'll stand by it as long as the day is long.
Well, under consideration right now is the motion is to approve the majority report. So, further discussion. Okay. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
No.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Howdeshell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1. That report is adopted. Majority report. Moving on to the next one. Yes. No. The majority report. It was Mr. Godwin's motion to approve the majority report.
Right.
Wasn't the minority.
I'm sorry. Forgive me.
Yeah, I think I passed 6-1, so there's no need to consider a minority report at all.
Okay. Now, moving on to Finance Committee assignment, review the possibility of setting funds aside for economic development revolving loan fund for the Community Improvement Corporation.
A report dated March 12, 2019. Honorable members, we hereby submit a report. The Finance Committee met on March 6, 2019 to review the possibility of setting funds aside for economic development revolving loan fund for the CIC. The committee recommends funding the revolving loan fund at $150,000. The committee recommends the funding to be moved to the CIC and not stay within the city budget. The Finance Committee also recommends that the necessary legislation be prepared. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Finance, Chairman John Hensley, Vice Chairman Doug Schmidt, and Member Jeff Whitaker.
Make a motion to accept the committee report.
Motion, Mr. Godwin, to approve the committee's report. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Addishaw,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have a report regarding the Finance Committee, review the possibility of funding a housing rehabilitation grant through the CIC.
A report dated March 12, 2019. Honorable members, we hereby submit our report. The Finance Committee met on March 6, 2019 to review the possibility of funding a housing rehabilitation grant through the CIC. The committee recommends funding the housing rehabilitation grant at $25,000 for 2019. The committee recommends the funding be moved to the CIC and not stay within the city budget. The committee also recommends that the necessary legislation be prepared. Respectfully submitted, Committee on Finance, Chairman John Hensley, Vice Chairman Doug Schmidt, and Member Jeff Whitaker.
Move to accept the report.
Motion by Mrs. Howdeshell to approve the committee's report. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Addishaw,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
Okay, now regarding the first assignment, there were, by the fact that there were two reports, nothing was prepared as far as legislation. So that'll have to be considered at the next council meeting. And the other two, it may be a while because I think that Mr. Garrison in particular and the city administration is going to have to work on all the parameters of distribution of these funds and all of the whys and wherefores and so forth. So it may be a couple of sessions before we get the final figures on that. And so that's why there's nothing to add to the agenda under ordinances and resolutions this evening. Okay, that concludes our committee reports, correct? And we're moving on to ordinances and resolutions versus the supplemental appropriation ordinance.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. This ordinance authorizes appropriations to the general fund for new equipment landfill in the amount of $500. These funds are needed to perform upgrades to the new explosion-proof motor for the landfill blower system, and to the park fund for new equipment park in the amount of $3,000. These funds are needed for an application fee for an ODNR park grant. Future park development park in the amount of $2,000. These funds are needed to erect the Band Shell Donor Memorial and were donated by the Harry Stevens Memorial Fund.
Make a motion to suspend the rules and read this ordinance by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Addishaw,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019. An ordinance to make additional appropriations for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Greenville, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2019.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt,
Yes.
Whitaker,
Yes.
Wright,
Yes.
Godwin,
Yes.
Hensley,
Yes.
Addishaw,
Yes.
Rogers.
Yes.
And next, we have an ordinance authorizing the partnership agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for community housing.
An ordinance authorizing a partnership agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for Community Housing Impact and Preservation. This ordinance authorizes the mayor to execute a partnership agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for the purposes of the operation of a Community Housing Impact and Preservation CHIP grant.
Move to suspend the rules and give this ordinance a reading by title only for second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Whitaker to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing a partnership agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for Community Housing Impact and Preservation. An ordinance authorizing a partnership agreement with the Dark County Commissioners for Community Housing Impact and Preservation.
Move to adopt. Move to adopt this ordinance.
Motion by Mrs. Hottashell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay, next we have an ordinance amending what, 10.09B of the Civil Service Regulations.
An ordinance to amend section 10.09B of the Civil Service Regulations. This ordinance amends section 10.09B of the Civil Service Regulations regarding promotional requirements per the request of the Greenville Patrol Officers Association and Administration.
Motion to suspend the rules and read this ordinance by title, first and second, or second and third time?
Motion by Mrs. Hottashell to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second and third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
An ordinance to amend section 10.09B of the Civil Service Regulations. An ordinance to amend section 10.09B of the Civil Service Regulations.
Move to adopt the ordinance.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the ordinance. Discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay. Now, we have an ordinance amending section 252.25 of the codified ordinances.
An ordinance amending 252.25 of the codified ordinances. This ordinance amends section 252.25 of the codified ordinance regarding the probationary period for City of Greenville employees.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this ordinance and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion by Mr. Godwin to suspend the rules, read the ordinance by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
An ordinance amending 252.25 of the codified ordinances. An ordinance amending 252.25 of the codified ordinances.
Motion to adopt this ordinance?
Motion by Mrs. Hottashell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion.
I didn't get a chance to review that. What does this actually cover?
There was a discrepancy between the personnel policies and what the codified ordinances said.
Gotcha.
So this is to make them match.
Clean it up. Very good. Thank you. Thank you.
And the probationary period is 1 year.
Yeah, we had one book saying one thing and one book saying another. I thought
Very
they ought
good.
to say the same thing. Okay, further discussion. Call roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
And finally, item 5, resolution waiving payments authorizing reimbursement for sewer usage charges for Michael James and declaring an emergency.
A resolution, excuse me, waiving payment by or in the alternate authorizing reimbursement to Michael James in the amount of $629.28, representing sewer usage charges incurred as a result of a water leak at 410 South Broadway, Greenville, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. This resolution authorizes waiving the payment for Michael James in the amount of $629.28 for sewer usage charges incurred as the result of a water leak at 410 South Broadway, Greenville, Ohio. This resolution has an emergency clause.
Make a motion to suspend the rules on this resolution and read it by title only, second and third time.
Motion, Mr. Godwin, to suspend the rules, read the resolution by title, second, third time. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Hottashell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
A resolution waiving payment by or in the alternate authorizing reimbursement to Michael James in the amount of $629.28, representing sewer usage charges incurred as a result of a water leak at 410 South Broadway, Greenville, Ohio, and declaring an emergency. A resolution waiving payment by or in the alternate authorizing reimbursement to Michael James in the amount of $629.28, representing sewer usage charges incurred as a result of a water leak at 410 South Broadway, Greenville, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
Motion. Go ahead.
Move to adopt the emergency clause.
Motion by Mr. Rogers to adopt the emergency clause. Excuse me, discussion. Call the roll.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Oh, motion to accept.
Okay, motion by Mrs. Howdeshell to adopt the ordinance. Discussion, or resolution, discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Okay. That, excuse me, concludes our ordinance. We sound like a bunch of healthy people. Oh, wait, gee, it's all big.
Makes me happy to sit next to you.
I'm catching it from Vicki. Called this young lady this morning at the office, and I could hardly understand her on the phone. She's improved considerably, so you did very well. Thank you.
Get the Lysol out.
Okay, nothing under old or new business. Any communications, please?
Monthly reports were received from the Street Department and Transit Department. An annual meeting notice was received from the Dark County Historical Society for March 26, 2019, and a brochure was received from the Dark County Health District regarding their 2018 annual report. These reports, notice, and brochure was distributed to council.
Any other items of communication? If there are none, call down the council.
Mr. Schmidt?
Pass.
Mr. Whitaker?
I want to thank everyone for attending to the meeting tonight, and with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Wright?
On Ohio Street at the new school, is there a speed limit in front of the school during school hours?
When children are present, it's 20 miles per hour.
Okay. Has our police department been out there enforcing that?
They have, yes.
They have been out there because I take a kid to the school, and there's generally a cruiser parked out there on Ohio Street, and not in the same spot.
Well, I know there's a cruiser parked in the parking lot there,
No, on Ohio.
but I have never seen them.
They have been, they usually park up there where the one crossing guard is at. They'll park there sometimes,
Okay.
sometimes a little bit north. And lately, they've been parking on the south entrance down there.
Okay.
Because I have to watch my speed very carefully.
That's all I have. I'll pass.
Mr. Godwin?
I'd like to start off, thank everybody for coming up tonight. And last night, FFA had their banquet dinner thing at the school, which was pretty nice. And April the 24th is when their greenhouse opens, and that's when they're supposed to have hanging baskets and flowers, and hopefully we can plant those. We won't have any more snow. And they said they're going to start on seeds, garden seeds, plants, so those will be within probably another 2 or 3 weeks. And with that, I'll pass.
Mr. Hensley?
Yeah, I want to thank everybody that came out today for being here. I also want to say that we have an exceptionally good fire department. They are very professional. They do an excellent job, and they have went above the call of duty to help out with our food pantry delivery for the Grace Resurrection, and that's also part of the backpack program. So I do want to thank them and let everybody know that what a great job they are doing. And with that, I will pass.
Mrs. Howdeshell?
Just want to echo what everybody else has said. Thank you for coming out tonight, and with that, I pass.
Mr. Rogers?
I'm going to pass.
President Burkett?
I need a motion to excuse the absences for
Motion.
March.
So moved.
Motion by Ms. Howdeshell to excuse the absences for March. Discussion. Call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
As the weather warms up and people are chomping at the bit to get outside and be sometimes not paying attention, so kind of keep an eye on each other. Sometimes we need to help each other along, so I do appreciate that. So thank you all for your attendance.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, call the roll, please.
Schmidt?
Yes.
Whitaker?
Yes.
Wright?
Yes.
Godwin?
Yes.
Hensley?
Yes.
Addishell?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Good night, you're adjourned. Thank you all.
Good night.
I got 2 post items.
Yes.
for you.
Holy crap.
Hey Doug,
Oh, we're gonna have to change that.
Doug Wright. I found out why they make 20 mile an hour in the school zone.
18.
That's so the people coming out of the lot can run out in front of you real quick.
Maybe he's trying to tell you.
Put in.